G'day, wonderful listeners. This is episode 59 of Trev's Talk, and I'm your host, Trev. Last week, I left off talking about the launch of the Moorditj Scholarship Fund at the local Aboriginal school. At one point, I said I was proud to have so much success in actually awarding scholarships to students. I had put in an enormous amount of time and effort to get the scholarship fund to the point of actually helping students. The use of the word proud to describe how I felt about awarding scholarships to the two selected students was the wrong choice. I should have said it gave me great satisfaction. Pride is a sin, I believe, according to gospel teachings, whereas feeling satisfaction about your work is okay. It's quite normal, especially when you've had struggle and hardship in getting the job done. When Jesus was young, his father Joseph, who was a carpenter, would have taught the trade to Jesus. I am sure when Jesus did a good carpentry job and his dad Joseph said, "You've done a good job with that, Jesus," then I'm sure Jesus would have felt great satisfaction. He would have felt satisfaction in the work he had done. Not pride, satisfaction. Pride is different. I consulted my dictionary, which states, pride is an overwhelming opinion of one's own qualities or merits. So you could say a proud person is one who is overwhelmingly full of himself. Although I felt great satisfaction that I had got the Moorditj Scholarship Fund to actually help a couple of Aboriginal kids, I was fully aware of the fact that I had been led by the spiritual world with hints and clues in the form of GBs, my word for goosebumps, and special dreams over many nights to take notice of the Aboriginal school in the first place, and then be given hints over many years to establish a scholarship fund to further the potential of deserving students. The success of the Moorditj Scholarship Fund project is totally due to the inspirations of Our Lady and the Holy Spirit. Similarly, although I felt great satisfaction when the first batch of my book Journey with God came off the printing press, I was very much aware that I had been given GBs several times when hearing of other people writing an autobiography. Those repeated GBs from the spiritual world urged me to write my story. I would never have written and self-published my book without the inspiration given me by the repeated instances of the GBs. Many other things I've done were done so because I had been led to take serious notice of them due to receiving skin-tingling GBs or goosebumps. Another significant event in my life was inspired by GBs in 2003. The president of the Vinnies branch I was a member of asked me to take a lady with me when I was conducting house calls to people needing help of one kind or another. So the next time I had house calls to do, I contacted that lady and offered to take her with me so she could get an idea of what a Vinnies volunteer did when on house call. We visited several homes and helped them with whatever their needs were and started driving back for me to drop the lady off. The lady started talking about her husband, who had died after 4 years of needing serious care. She mentioned that she helped him to the chapel when he was in hospital and wheelchaired him to church when he was not in hospital. And when she was talking, I suddenly was showered with GBs in a very powerful wave. I took immediate intense interest in her, as that was the first time I had experienced the GBs since my visit to Medjugorje 13 years before. When I had experienced powerful GBs several times. Mentally, I linked GBs over the lady with GBs experienced at Medjugorje. So I asked the lady if we could meet again for an afternoon tea and have a chat, which she readily agreed to. That led to more meetings for shared chats, and after a while I realised she was a very nice woman. That led me to look upon her as a romantic possibility, and after a few months I asked her to marry me. She accepted, and we married in January 2004. I think the GBs are truly amazing. They point things out to me and sort of say, take notice of something seen or heard or a particular person. Look at the 3 examples I have given just now. GBs lead me to establishing the Moorditj Scholarship Fund project. GBs lead me to write my autobiography, and GBs lead me to marry my present wife. These are powerful hints, clues, or inspirations that have guided my life since 1990 when I visited Medjugorje. I believe receiving GBs is a beautiful gift, and it was truly amazing that the GBs led me to not only beneficial things for Aboriginal youth, but to me personally, like inspiring me to write my life story and showing me a great woman to take as a wife. Fancy that. Hey, spiritual world help to pick a woman to spend the rest of life with. And my wife and I are really happy to have met, like we did, and very happy to continue along the path the spiritual world has set for us. These amazing GBs make me take any instance of them I receive with great attention. I always give them a very high level of importance. And what about the future dreams I've received to lead me into doing things Our Lady or the Holy Spirit want me to undertake? The Moorditj Scholarship Fund project would probably never have got off the ground without my dream of the 18th of August 2010, about which my journal states. I awoke again at 5:10 a.m, having just dreamed of a parent holding hands with me and having a lean, lithe youth doing talented, graceful ballet leaps over our extended linked arms. I feel this is a clue to use the Medjugorje Centre to do scholarships for talented youth and working with the parents as well. End of journal entry. So you can see how I would have thoughts of scholarships in the back of my mind for years after that very specific dream. The dreams I have been blessed with are another beautiful gift, just like receiving the GBs to take notice of things is a beautiful gift. I am very grateful also for being prompted to write about my GBs and special dreams in my journal. Having things recorded in my journal can prove I had knowledge of those things years before they actually took place. Being inspired to write my autobiography was also a beautiful gift. It was another thing inspired by GBs. In my book, I talked about the Holy Spirit empowering the water I had in my possession when deeply immersed in my first amazing experience on Apparition Hill at Medjugorje back in the year 1990. In that experience, the Holy Spirit gave me a prophecy. I am at some point going to be involved in life-changing publicity, which will be the trigger for the full empowerment of the water I had in my possession back in 1990. I have carefully saved that water for doing good when the empowerment time comes. Now here is a quick mention about something from my last episode. When I said I might not hear again from Radio Dada after giving them access to my podcasts at my YouTube channel, I was right. Their learning of how and what I talk about in my podcast did frighten them off. There is plenty of spiritual content in my podcast, and some people are not comfortable with that. I never got a reply to my last email to them. I guess it was not meant to be. Well, wonderful listeners, I've come to the end of this episode. Please follow on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube if not already done so. Shares and comments are also highly appreciated. This is Trev, tuning out.